BEC2 బేస్ మీద E1 ఆరు బ్రాంచ్ సెలెక్ట్.
of the Department of English in charge. So today I am very privileged now to commence this program. And here, as you know very well, that the RGUKT SKLM has taken an initiation to conduct the induction program for the upcoming E1 students. So in this juncture, we have planned a special session for all the upcoming engineering students. That is, a part of this induction program is an orientation program. And the name of this orientation program is Universal Human Values. And in this aspect, I would like to convey my special thanks to NIT Warangal coordinator, Dr. Ravi Kumar Jatot, Associate Professor, Department of ECE, NIT Warangal, who has taken a lot of stress and strain in order to conduct this program in a streamline. So a special thanks I would like to convey from the Dept Srikakulam branch to the Dr. Ravi Kumar Jatot, Associate Professor. So before going to convey my this commence this program, I would like to give a brief introduction of today's speaker, the resource person, Dr. Karthik Balasubramanian. Dr. Karthik Balasubramanian is working as an assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, NIT Warangal, and his interesting subjects are microchannel flow boiling, phase change transfer, microfluids, thermal management, solar thermal, solar PV, and hybrid systems, HVAC systems. So let's have a brief glance about Dr. Karthik Balasubramanian of today's speaker. Dr. Karthik Balasubramanian obtained his B.Tech in Mechanical Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, M.Tech in Heat Power Engineering from BIT Mesra, Ranchi, and PhD from National University of Singapore. He was a postdoctoral fellow at NUS for 1 year post in philosophy. Dr. Karthik has worked on microchannel cooling for nearly 6 years at National University of Singapore, and he has strong expertise in experimental techniques. He has invented novel techniques to minimize pressure drop fluctuations for stable flow boiling with enhanced heat transfer through microchannels, and his work is patent pending. He made efforts to minimize the flow boiling instability using the passive technique of simple modifications in the microchannel geometry. He achieved stable flow boiling and enhanced heat transfer performance, and also brought out crucial fundamental understanding about flow boiling in microchannels. The patent pending technology developed during the course of his PhD was scaled up to fit this thermal management needs of power electronic users like SMRT, metro trains in Singapore. The project involved both numerical simulations, aspects for uniform flow distribution of coolant through the heat sink cold plate, and experimental investigations to study the actual heat transfer and pressure drop performance of the developed cold plate. Dr. Karthik joined the Department of Mechanical Engineering, National Institute of Technology, Warangal in the year 2014. Till now, he has published 6 international journals and attended 4 international conferences and achieved 1 patent. And he's also conducted the workshops and conferences, nearly 3 on different areas. And he has done different projects on the various titles like flow boiling, stabilization microchannels for effective cooling, stabilized two-phase cooling for effective thermal management of power electronics, and as a research scholar at NUS Singapore, he obtained a patent for the all the first invention, developed a novel geometric stabilized flow boiling in microchannels, and he has also achieved honors and awards on help to achieve the prestigious NRF PhD grant worth of $235,000 for the research blueprint based on the patent pending technology developed during his PhD. He has also participated and helped in securing the ASPAR CSF grant worth $1 million and the prestigious Ministry of Education Charity grant worth $655,000 for the research group. He is also the recipient of Graduate Research Scholarship from National University of Singapore. He is distinguished. He stood in a distinction in his master's program and also in the bachelor's program. So, along with his academic credentials, he also undertakes the additional responsibilities, the lab in charge of measurement lab, faculty advisor, and a member of the department academic audit committee, and FISP project member, faculty president of the Mechanical Engineering Association, and also at the institute level as the core team members for the Center for Continuing Education, and also the member of evaluation panel member, and also the research person for the TLC. So these are the brief profile of today's resource person. So I cordially welcome our today's resource person to this induction program. So before going to hand over the session to the resource person, I request our esteemed director sir of RGUKT SKLM to say a few words about this orientation program. Now switch over to our director sir.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Satish, for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Uh, my first meeting with you all after I assumed charge on 25th of last month. It's already 15 days over. Same online meeting. Anyway, then today our Srikakulam campus in Nujuvedu proposed to host almost a 10-day universal human values, sort of a typical kind of program, which is need of the hour, because ethics and moral values and human values are deteriorating at a rapid pace. We're all aware about that. And we have a plan to provide this type of lectures to the upcoming students. With that reason in mind, actually, we have an intention to provide this type of program to the upcoming engineering students. And then, AICTE and UGC already instructed all educational institutions in our country to incorporate ethics and moral values as part of engineering course curriculum, which carries also certain credits. It's not that just simply a theory one, it also carries certain credits. And then we are now living in global village, not like earlier days, because student should develop, student can understand not only the course curriculum, even he can understand what are the other side of the human values. If he or she can consider one side of the coin, that is academics, we should provide certain facilities to them to nurture, to develop certain kind of other parameters with which they can understand in a holistic manner about this particular global scenario, and then issues that they can face in future. And then, India is famous for value, family system, culture, and other things. Okay. We were all groomed in such an environment. And then we have a beautiful civilization, Indus Valley civilization, long back, thousands of years back. Our country witnessed civilization also. It implies that our people lived with a different kind of modern life standards in ancient period. That's what exactly the case it is. Similarly, we are also aware about certain things which are part in our education system. Something like that, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, Acharya Devo Bhava, Atidhi Devo Bhava. If you see this particular quotation, you can understand. We give a lot of priority to our parents first. Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, and then Acharya Devo Bhava. We also give equal respect and to the teacher. Why? Because we spent, even in modern days also, we spent almost up to 25 years. We spent our productive age, productive time with the teaching community only. So this is what exactly the reason for not only to learn technical education, if we provide certain facility for the student community to know about human values particularly, so that they can survive anywhere in the world with a human values. India is famous for that. Please try to understand this. Now, India is famous for idealism. there is a idealism and pragmatism. Idealism basically propagates worship of idols, that is god and goddesses, and then we have a culture like dance, paintings, such a type of culture we have. We imbibed certain good qualities since ages. And then probably this program will focus on this type of issues which are need of the hour in my opinion. And then coming to our institution is concerned, our institution is located in the premises of 21st century Gurukulams. You know, Gurukulam or Gurukulas is the old word. In ancient period, teacher used to teach to his students through dialect. By the they don't have facility to write like what we have papers, what we have modern tools like internet facility, laptops, etc. By the time they don't have any such type of facility, only to memorize what teacher teaches. He can memorize, student can memorize, and then student in turn can teach to his students again if he wish to continue himself in the field of teaching profession. Then coming to other aspects are concerned, it is a great thing that our institution is located in 21st century Gurukulas, and it is an apt word as far as my understanding is concerned. Now, you see, human values are deteriorating at a rapid pace. If you take any country, as a matter of fact, it may be an advanced countries like America and European world, and India is also not an exception for that. Because you see, gun culture became a common in education system in Western world, and then India still we give a lot of importance to the teacher student teacher relation, and then we give values to the elderly people, we respect the elderly people. These are the principles, these are the values were given, were on which we were developed, and therefore these are there in our mind. So obviously we are the best citizens. If you go anywhere to the world, people like you because of your mannerism, because of your respect giving towards the elderly people. So I'm closing with a one sentence. It is so popular in Telugu. It is Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Prityorma Mritangamaya. So that means in the ancient time, our saints and sons, they used to learn lot from the nature and from his fellow human beings to make his life more comfortable, more meaningful. With that reason, basically, this sentence is so popular. Of course, it carries in another meaning, but I just translated in a different way to fit into this particular program context. I wholeheartedly thanking my colleagues who are there in Newsvideo campus for arranging this particular program, for the student community, particularly on this unique program, Universal Human Values. I wish you all good luck. Hope that you will learn good tips from the resource persons. In turn, you can use them in your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for enlightening the importance and need of the universal human values in this venture. As a people, we are very blessed with the technology and also forget about our civilization, values, and social ethics. And thank you, sir, for reminding with the examples about past, present, and future, and telling the importance of gurus and parents, and also focusing on the idealism, pragmatism, culture, since we are practicing from the ages, and also highlighting about the need of the earth regarding the universal human values. Thank you, sir. Now I request today's resource person, Dr. Karthik Subramanian, to please continue the session.
Thank you, Dr. Satish. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. A very good morning to all. Thank you for having me as a resource person for this session. And I request everyone to please keep their mics in mute so that, when I speak, there is no echo. If the mics are not muted, there will be echo. So I kindly request everybody to mute their mics. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so as far as I understand, this session that we are going to have here, particularly my discussion with the students, I mean, just now your honorable director gave a speech on the importance of human values, how crucial it is in our lives. So I would like to begin this session. I want this to be an interactive session. Please ensure that the students, whoever are there, you are ready to interact with me. Okay. So please feel free to talk. If somebody wants a translation or something like that, I hope there are faculty members who can translate for students. I heard that everybody can follow English comfortably. You have to forgive me. I don't know Telugu. I cannot communicate in Telugu. So in case some of the students are not feeling comfortable about English language, I heard that there is somebody who can help you out. So the language should not become a barrier. That is my concern.
Thank you, sir. No issues, sir, regarding the language. Please be
Okay.
glad about the language.
Okay, because even in NIT Warangal, we have some students, when they come, they feel uncomfortable talking in English and communicating in English. So that is why I'm just making a note of it before even I begin, so that students feel comfortable. Language should not become a barrier, particularly in these sorts of sessions, right?
Yes.
So I'm happy that it won't be a problem. Okay. So now I would like to begin this session with one question. What is the purpose of education? Right? We have all completed 10th class, and after 10th class, 2 years of intermediate, and then after intermediate, we have joined engineering education. Some people go for medicine, some people go for law, some people go for arts and science, some people go for journalism. They go for so many different things. Now, what is the purpose of education? Has anyone thought about what is the purpose of education? I can few of you answer? It's okay if one or two of you can participate and answer. It'll be nice to have you talk. What is the purpose of education?
Shall we ask the students to unmute?
Yeah, they can unmute, answer, and mute their microphone.
Any possibility of chat, sir?
Chat is also okay, but I would prefer people talking. That makes the session more lively.
Okay, sir. Okay.
They can even chat in the chat box, but some of them can even speak if possible.
To gain knowledge.
To gain knowledge. Okay. Let me start presenting my screen. 1 minute. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So somebody said to gain knowledge. Anybody else? Anyone else? Priscilla, she says gain moral values.
So some of our students are sending the response in the chats and
Yeah,
also
that's why I'm reading it out also.
both in the both the ways, sir.
Yes.
Oral and written.
Renuka says to gain money. Anybody else? Sangeeta, to change the world. We can stand in our legs. Gain respect. Represent ourselves to the world. And Vasanta says know how to gain respect in our society. Okay. So we have number of responses that are coming in. Right? I'm happy that many of you are participating. But now, see, to gain knowledge, to gain money, really do you need education? Do you need education to gain money? There are so many people in this world who are not educated in that sense, the kind of education that we are going through, but they are earning a lot of money. In fact, many of the rich people that you see in today's world, they have not gone through a formal education like we are going through, right? They have not gone through a formal education like we are going through. But still, they make a lot of money, right? But still, they make a lot of money. Am I audible? Can someone respond? Yeah, okay. Maybe somehow the system got disconnected. One minute. I'm having some issues. I'll just reconnect in a few minutes. So the idea that we are trying to get here is education is not just to gain knowledge. Education is not just to gain money. It is not to change the world or just gain some respect. But the core idea of education is to transform ourselves into better persons. It is to evolve our character. Somebody said that gain moral values, gain knowledge, that's true. But we should understand what this knowledge is all about. Right? This knowledge is not just about just a moment. Yeah, now the screen is visible, right? Yeah, good. Okay. So, purpose is to transform ourselves. This is the purpose of education. To put it in a crux, we have to evolve in our character. So, transform ourselves internally, right? Not just externally. Transform ourselves internally as a person in our character. Externally, we may do so many different things, but what comes out of us is a reflection of what we are as a person inside. So education should help us in that transformation. It should also help us, right, understand our responsibilities. See, as a human being, All of us have certain responsibilities. There are responsibilities towards ourselves and there are responsibilities towards others. So we should be able to understand our responsibilities towards ourselves and also towards others. This is very, very important. So education should help us understand what those responsibilities are. What is my responsibility? Education should give us that clarity. Let's say after coming out of educational institution, if you say that I'm a graduate, I'm an educated person, then you should know very clearly what are my responsibilities. Towards myself, I have some responsibilities, and towards others, I have some responsibilities. What are they? I should be able to know it very clearly and act on them very clearly. Right? And then it should help us deal with people in different situations properly. It should help us deal with different situations and in people in different situations properly. Right? It should help us do that. Right? So, education should help us for all these things. Basically, it's a transformation of person. As a person, we should be able to evolve as a result of education. But what is happening now, the problem is education has become more or less like a lot of information being given to students. We learn computer science, we learn electronics, we learn mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, civil engineering, so many things we learn. All these are just information formulas and solving different problems. That's it. Education should not stop there. There are many people who are educated like this. Many people who are well educated have done very harmful things to the society. Then what is the use of gaining this knowledge if the transformation of the heart, transformation of character has not taken place? It wouldn't help us to gain so much of information. So education should not merely stop at the level of information. It should come to a level of transforming us as better people, transforming our character, transforming us internally, so that externally also we do the right things. So, this we should understand very clearly. So, for that, what is the first step? Right? What is the first step in understanding all these things for this transformation? It is first step is understand myself. I have to understand myself. If I have to know what my responsibilities are, how can I understand myself? How can I know what my responsibilities are without knowing who am I? I cannot understand, right? My responsibility. For example, only if you know that you are a student of mechanical engineering or student of electrical engineering, whatever, only then you will understand what your subjects are, what you have to study, what exams you should give. Only then you will get an understanding, right? If you don't know who you are, see, as a student, you have different set of responsibilities. Tomorrow, when you become a teacher, for example, you have different set of responsibilities. Or you become employed in a certain company, you have different set of responsibilities. So your responsibilities are defined by who you are. So please try to understand our responsibilities, our activities, our functions, everything is defined by who we are. So this is the first step in education to help us understand who we are. I should very clearly understand about myself. So this topic is something which we should think about very deeply in our lives. Please try to understand. This can be, this has two parts. Who am I? So who am I? So we have a body and we have a self, right? I would call this body as tool and self as the driver or user. So we have a body and there is a self, right? And then we try to, a combination of these two is what we are trying to understand as who am I. But mostly we don't talk about the details of these things. But what are the details? Let's say, what are the requirements of the body? Let's try to write the requirements. So can someone tell me what are the requirements of the body and requirements of the self? Let's talk about requirements of the body and requirements of the self. Yeah. Can people answer? What are the requirements of the body? What does the body need? Yes. Food, exactly. Prince C says food, water, energy. Food, water, energy, shelter, clothes. Good. Yeah, very good. What are the requirements of the self? Yes. Requirements of the body. Character. Okay. Peace. Respect. Confidence. Okay. Honesty. So, what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to club these all together and call it as physical facilities. Or you can say material facilities. I'm going to club these all and call them as feelings or emotions. And also, the self requires, very importantly, happiness. Yeah, somebody says air, so I'll include air also. Air is very important for the body. Without air, we cannot survive, right? Good. Bhuvana says air. Yeah. Thank you, Bhuvana. Now look at these physical facilities, feelings, emotions, and happiness. So we can see that we have requirements of the body and requirements of the self. Now, looking at the requirements of the body and requirements of the self, can you characterize them? What kind of characteristics does requirements of the body have and requirements of the self have? If you look very carefully, the requirements of the body are quantitative. Quantitative means what? You can measure them. They are physical, right? It is not abstract. You can measure the amount of food that you're going to eat. You can measure the amount of clothes or number of clothes that you have. So they are limited, or you can say fixed. They're fixed. But then when it comes to feelings, emotions, happiness, they are not fixed. You cannot measure them, right? So they are called qualitative. They are called qualitative or immeasurable. So, or you can also say unlimited. Right? Now, the idea that we are trying to communicate here is, let's say you want to eat some food, okay? You will take some food. How much will you take? How much food will you take? What is the limit of eating food? Can someone tell me what is the limit till which we eat food? Anyone can answer. If somebody can unmute and answer, I'd be happy to hear. Until our stomach fills, yes. Until our hunger is satisfied, until our stomach becomes full, we can eat. Can you go on eating even after your stomach is full and after your hunger is over? Can we go on eating? No. So even if it is one of the best foods and you like that food, let's say rasgullas or something like that, you like them very much, okay? So you are full already. Can you eat them? Maybe because of wanting to taste it, you will take one. But can you take more than that? You cannot. So what's the idea here? The requirements of the body are limited. It is fixed. And also it is intermittent. Now your hunger will be satisfied. But after some time in the evening, again you will feel hungry because the stomach is digested, the food is digested. You might have used all the energy for various activities. Again you start feeling hungry. At that time you need some food. Right? At that time you need some food again. So you will take some food. So it is intermittent. But then let us come to the requirements of the self. Okay, this is intermittent. Let us come to the requirements of the self. You think that somebody can respect you now for some time. After some time, they can disrespect you. And again, they will respect you, and again, they will disrespect you. Is it all right? Or sometimes you are happy, and after some time, you want to be unhappy. No. We always want respect from others. We always want to be happy. We always want the right emotions from others. Correct? So this is called continuous. It's called continuous. All the time, the self, the requirements of the self are continuous. It is not intermittent like that of the body. The requirements of the body are intermittent. You cannot keep on supplying material to the body. It will collapse. It cannot handle it. But requirements of the self are continuous. You want to be happy all the time. You want respect all the time. You want the right feelings and emotions all the time. Correct? Some instructions are being given. Is it over? Okay. I think I can continue now. Yeah, good. So now I think things are clear till now. So who am I? Once we have to understand the transformation in character, once we have to understand what is my goal, what is my purpose of life, first of all, I should understand who am I. From there begins the purpose of education. So me as a person, I have a body and I am the self. So there are requirements of the body and requirements of the self. We are looking at these two very clearly now, right? So now tell me, when we talk about different feelings, when we want to be happy, when we want respect from others, right? And we feel compassionate towards others. Can you give me examples of what is it that we do? Let's say we want respect from others. What do we do? How do you think we will get respect from others? I want you to answer. How do you think that we will get respect from others? Different ways in which we can get respect from others. Or what is it you're feeling? Good character from our character? Yes? People are responding in the chat box. Being good with others, speak politely, behavior, our lifestyle, having some talents. Lifestyle, somebody said our lifestyle. Priscilla, right? Priscilla said our lifestyle. What do you mean by lifestyle? Give an example of what is the meaning of lifestyle. You can take help from your friends, no problem. Way of thinking, from education. Okay? Be a role model to others. Okay, fine. Let's say we feel very compassionate towards others. We feel very compassionate towards others. We feel a lot of sympathy towards others. Then what we will do? What do we do? Another question. When we feel sympathy, compassion towards others, what do we do? You're all thinking so much. Okay, let's forget about that. Answer this question. Very important question. All of you are aspiring to get a good job or something like that, right? After your education, many of you want a good job, a high paying job, for example. Why? Why do you want a good job or a high paying job? I'm audible, right? To satisfy our requirements. Yeah. So tell me, Divya says to satisfy requirements, to lead a good life. Yes. Do not want to depend on others. To lead a lavish and luxurious life, Divya says. Then getting respect from others. I was looking for it. Increase our status in society. Who says that? Now, try to understand what is respect. You say that if you have a good job, you will get respect from others. What is respect? Respect is requirement of the self. Respect is requirement of the self. It is part of the feelings of the self, right? It is requirement of the self. But how are we trying to get that respect? By getting a job which will pay us very well. The money and the outcome of the job is actually going to satisfy the requirement of the body. Many people think that if I become rich and have a lot of money, a lot of facilities, then people will respect me. So try to understand this paradox. What we are trying to do is we are trying to accumulate things that are requirements of the body, like a lot of money, facilities, and everything. And then with that, we are thinking that we will get a lot of happiness, a lot of respect, and a lot of other emotions. What we are trying to accumulate is requirements of the body, but what we think that we will get is requirement of the self. This is not going to happen. because requirements of the self are very different. If you try to supply the requirements of the self by accumulating the requirements of the body, then we are making a big mistake, and that is leading to all kinds of chaos. That is why you see, even after earning so much, even after doing so many things, people don't feel happy and satisfied. What is the reason? Because they are working on a wrong footing. Yeah, Vasanta says it comes from good character. You are right. But then we ourselves have, don't you, when you see a very rich person, don't you give respect to them? In general, when you see a very rich person coming, our immediate response is to give respect to that person, don't we? Why do we do that? Because we are associating those riches with the respect, which is not correct. I'm not saying you should disrespect them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying a fundamental misconception that we have. We try to associate the requirements of the body with the requirements of the self, which is leading to all kinds of trouble because we are confused. We don't understand. We think that happiness comes by accumulating the requirements of the body, by accumulating material facilities, by becoming very rich, by having a big house, by having a lot of property, a lot of wealth, and a lot of other things. I will become a happy person. I will gain a lot of respect in the society. I will become very confident. I will become peaceful. I can live my life peacefully. If I have all these facilities that are shown on this side, if I get all these things, I immediately think that I will be able to get all these things, which is not correct because they are fundamentally different. Correct? So this is creating a lot of chaos in the society, a lot of chaos in ourselves, because as an individual, we are confused. We don't know where to put our effort. Rather than putting our effort in satisfying the self, we are trying to put a lot of effort in trying to satisfy the requirements of the body, which is creating a lot of confusion in us and in the society. Because what the society is all about, society is made of individuals. We all come together and form the society, right? If I am not very clear in myself, then what will I do? Several confused people in the society together, the whole society is confused. Everybody thinks that I have to accumulate so much of facility to become happy. Nobody focuses on the actual requirements of the self. Now, okay, how do we acquire the actual requirements of the self? Next question comes. So to very quickly tell you, I'll like to move forward. So for us to survive, we need facilities, and also we need relationships. All the feelings and emotions are satisfied through proper relationships, right? The requirements of the self, mostly you see the requirements of the self, respect, emotions, feelings, happiness, all these comes when we have good relationships. When you have a lot of facility, you may not get all these things. But when we have good relationships around us, good friends, good family members, good relatives, when we have good people around us, you will see that the requirements of the self are getting satisfied. Right? But for you to survive and have a healthy life and do well, you need some facilities. But then how much of these facilities are required? And what kind of relationships and how to maintain proper relationships? For that, I need to have one more thing called right understanding. I need to have right understanding of who I am. So from that right understanding comes the right understanding of how much physical facilities I require and then how to maintain good relationships. So this right understanding is very, very important. So when we say that we are going to discuss human values, we are going to discuss these details. How much physical facility is required for an individual and how to maintain good relationships. right? So we have to understand this very deeply. When we understand this deeply, this whole box that we are seeing here, this is what we call as human consciousness. If you are simply interested only in the physical facilities, then this is called animal consciousness. Because animals, they are only interested in food, shelter, only in requirements of the body. They don't consider too much about relationship. Of course, they also have their herds and so on, but then they are not very keen about their relationships. All they are interested is only the physical aspect of life. Right? Is this clear? Yeah. So, to lead a proper life, to be a proper human being, we should have the right knowledge of how much is required for our body. And see, once we understand this, then the goal of life will be very clear. The goal of life is to become very happy and peaceful, to evolve in our character. That will be the goal. Then through whatever we do, we will do it properly. Like we will be good in our education, we will do well in our job. Automatically, other thing happens as a consequence. Good education, good job, and good relationships. These things come as a consequence of the right understanding, developing the right feelings in our heart. Correct? So, in human values, what you will discuss is the details of all these things about who am I, what are my requirements, how to go about cultivating it, getting the clarity on this. So, when we have this holistic picture, then what we will understand? We will understand that I am coexistent, I am not independent in this society. Somebody may say that, I as a human being, I can do so many things, but no, we need people around us. We are coexistent with each other. When we understand we are coexistent with each other, we will try to cooperate with each other rather than compete with each other. Right? Like me, the other person is also, man is not a social animal. That statement is a very wrong statement. Somebody made a wrong statement. You might have studied that in your book. Please remove it. Just because some author wrote it, you don't have to accept it as correct. Man is not a social animal. Man is man. Rather, human being is human being. Why should we bring animal into the picture here? This is another problem we have. We just accept whatever says, we accept it. Think for yourself. Just because somebody wrote in a book, we don't have to accept immediately that yes, that is correct. We have to think. We have to start critically thinking. Even now in this session, I'm telling you all. Just because I'm saying certain things, you don't have to blindly accept them. You think about it deeply. You try to live by it and you see whether it is making sense for you or not. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. So once we understand our coexistence with each other, we will try to cooperate with each other. We would like to support each other and grow together rather than competing with each other, trying to put each other down. And, we won't do that. We will understand all of us have to grow together. We will understand our role in the community. What is my role? Let me do my role properly in the community. So this leads to holistic development of the community. We will not compete with each other. Let's say somebody is good at something. Let him be good at something. I am good at something else. So together we will build a system which is good in different ways. For example, somebody may have very good business sense. I don't have good business sense. So I don't have to be jealous about somebody who has a good business sense. I might have some other skill set. So me and the other person who has good business sense may work together and do something nicely. I can cooperate with the other person rather than competing with him. Right? This we will understand only we understand our coexistence. I'm a human being, he is also a human being, the other person is a human being. All of us have requirements of the body, requirements of the self. You understand? So once this clarity comes, we will try to grow together and we will know how to cooperate with each other very clearly. We will not compete with each other. We will help our friends in achieving their goal of becoming happy, becoming peaceful, and developing the right feelings and emotions. Right? So anyway, a lot more can be said, but I wanted to give an overview, a summary. So I thought I have done that. Now I would like to throw open this session for interaction, for any questions. I'd be more than happy to answer some questions. Is somebody going to coordinate that?
Yeah, yes, sir. Would you please repeat the question, sir?
No, thing is, I'm leaving it open for people to ask me questions. Now I'm taking. I would like to take questions from students.
Any specific areas?
No, what on based on whatever I had discussed now, or if they have any other questions, they can ask me.
Sure, sir.
Right understanding is important for differentiating self and body requirements. How to gain right understanding? It's an excellent question. Divya has asked how to get right understanding. Very good. So you get to give you right understanding only teachers are there. So you have to associate with people who have the right understanding. I'm not just talking about your college teachers. I'm talking about people who are in knowledge. If you associate, there is a famous saying, right? Tell me about your friend, I'll tell you who you are. Which means, depending on the kind of association we have, we will develop in our character. So if you associate with people who have right understanding, we will also get right understanding. Everything depends on association. Our character, how to build good character, associate with people who have good character. Identify people who are good and then associate with them. Spend time with them. Then you will develop the right understanding. You will develop all the right character, qualities. Everything comes from the right association. This is very important. It's a good question. It comes from the right association. We have to identify people and associate with them properly. That is how you get the right understanding. Yes? Okay, thank you. Karuna, so how can you identify good people? Is that the question? Karuna, how can you identify means what? How can you identify good people? I want a clarification on the question. Okay. So identifying good people, when we have inherent sincerity in our heart, we will know it is not very difficult. Sometimes we think that, it is very difficult to identify good people, but it is not so difficult to identify good people. Once you interact with somebody for some time, it will become very clear whether they are good or not. Because, see, this is something God has gifted all of us. In our heart, by nature, we know what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. Somewhere within us, some clarity is there. Though it may not be fully clear, at least we can identify who are good and who are bad. That much discrimination, to some degree, it is there. But to begin with, if your parents had been good enough, if they had taught you, you will know. In fact, developing this discrimination itself is a very important part of education. We should be able to properly discriminate between good and bad. We should understand. And that much, to to a certain degree, all of us have in us naturally. So when you hold on to it sincerely and begin applying it properly, that ability to properly know or identify between what is appropriate, what is not appropriate, that ability will grow. Any ability will increase only when we keep practicing it, right? So we already naturally have that ability. The discriminative ability is there in us to identify what is good. So start applying it in smaller levels. You will see that your ability grows when you identify the right people, take the right inputs. Some people are obviously good, you know that. Some of the teachers, just by seeing them, you will know that they are good. So try to associate with them. The more you get inputs, the more your own discriminative abilities will grow. The more you will feel, when you associate with such people, the more you will feel peaceful, happy. You will not feel depressed, right? You will not feel depressed. You will feel happy. You will feel more confident. You will feel very light at heart. When such things happen to you, you know that you are around good people. But when you are around people where you feel more depressed, more irritated, more agitated, more you are losing your confidence, if such things happen, then you can understand that you are not around good people. That is a very clear indicator. Okay, Renuka, she is asking, what is ego? Okay, the term ego means identity. In general, the actual meaning of the term ego means identity. But how it is used in current, he is a very egoistic person, he has too much of ego, we say like that. When we say somebody has ego, generally we are referring to somebody who is having a false identity. That means he is thinking of himself bigger than who he actually is. That is the meaning of ego. Okay, if somebody assumes himself to be superior than what he is actually, let's say if I am a faculty member here, if I consider myself as if I am the director of this place and behave as if I am the director of this place, just to give you an example, that means I am acting egoistically. I am having a wrong identification of myself. That is called ego. I should understand who I am very clearly. That is proper ego. Everybody has ego. It should be right ego. It should not be false ego. Okay, when you have false ego, you identify yourself as something bigger than who you are, which is very wrong. Okay, I hope that clears what is ego. Vasanta says, sir, nowadays everyone playing double characters, it is difficult to identify. Yes, Vasanta, you are right. People are trying to pretend, they pose as if they are good. But as I am telling you, when you associate with such people of double character, you will not feel very good at heart. You won't feel very happy. You won't feel very confident around them. You will feel somewhat insecure around them. You won't want to go near them. You will understand it very clearly after some time that they are pretending. Initially, it will take some time. It's not an overnight thing. You will identify who's good, who's bad. It will take some time, but after some time you can know somebody is being bad. You don't have to go. You don't have to disrespect them, but you don't have to go near them. There is a question, sir, with whom we want to associate, the brilliant friend or a good character and kind-hearted person? I would say good character and kind-hearted person is better. Brilliant person, just being good in education is not sufficient. Good in education is okay. But if he's a sincere person who is good in education, you can associate with them. But he's just good in education but has a lot of bad qualities. You should avoid. You should not. But if you are a good friend of him, you can help that friend to improve in their character. You need not simply avoid that person. You can take some responsibility to help them grow in their character, to help them. That's why I said it is not just avoiding, it is cooperation. We are coexistent. We should help each other to grow as good people in the society. If we feel that somebody is doing something wrong, one of your friends, it is your responsibility to go and tell that, see, what you are doing is not correct. I feel we have to improve. So if you feel that, my input is appropriate, please let us try to grow along the right direction. Let us not do bad things. That can be, very nicely said amongst friends, right? This is very important. We have to cooperate with each other. It is not just sufficient to avoid people, but we should help each other. We should grow together. Renuka says, how do I want to ideally describe myself? Yeah. Who is this? Yes.
Sir, I
Yes.
have a question to you, sir.
Yes.
Sir, when it comes to personal happiness and social happiness, in everyone's mind, there will be a conflict in choosing both of them. Means their personal desire and for family desire, and whatever it may be. How to cope up with that situation, and how to overcome that thing in our life, sir. I mean, what to choose, whether personal happiness or social happiness, whether to live for ourselves or to the society, or to live for the society or our family. What's the solution for it, or how to cope up with that situation, sir?
First of all, we should understand that we are coexistent. As I told you, we are not independent. When you are living as part of a community, there is nothing called as individual happiness. Your happiness is going to affect others in some way or the other. So we should try to understand how we can be mutually happy. The problem is, if we consider, see, your happiness should not become unhappiness for others. That is where the conflict is resolved. If your happiness is also giving happiness to others, then that's okay. But if your happiness is giving unhappiness to others, if you are exploiting somebody and then you are becoming happy and the other person is suffering because of your happiness, that is very wrong. That kind of a personal happiness is not encouraged. But if you are becoming happy and along with you, people around you are also becoming happy, they are also growing together, that is okay. Because in the long run, you will understand that I actually cannot be happy unless people around me are happy. Even as a family, you cannot be happy unless people around your family members are happy. The society around you is happy. So when you do something, just for example, when you say you plant a tree, I'm giving an example. When you plant a tree, you become happy and everybody becomes happy around you. Right? When you just
Yes,
plant a
sir.
tree, when you maintain a nice garden, you become happy and people around become happy. So that is good. You can have you have personal happiness and you're also giving happiness to others. That kind of personal happiness is okay. But if your personal happiness is at the cost of others' happiness, that is not recommended. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, very important. Good. And Renuka had asked the question, how do I want to ideally describe myself? You should be able to describe yourself as a good person, person of good character. You should feel very confident to describe yourself as a person of good character. If you can do that, then that is the best. Other things are consequences. If you're a person of good character, you'll automatically do well in your studies, you'll automatically do well in all other things. Because a person of good character will feel responsible that I should do everything properly. So you should be able to describe yourself as a person of good character. What makes us feel good and what makes us feel bad? Priscilla, right? What makes you feel good is when you are in harmony with yourself. That means when you clearly understand the requirements of yourself, and when you are able to work along that direction, and when there's no confusion in the heart, you will feel happy. That will feel good. But if there is a lot of confusion in the heart, your requirements of the self are something, but you are doing something else, you are in disharmony. That time you will feel bad at heart. I actually want something, but I'm doing something else. It is not matching. Then you will feel bad at heart. Correct? Good. Yes. Any other? Yeah, feel free to interact. Any other questions you have, you can ask me. See, ideally you should feel free to ask questions now, because whatever hesitations you may have, the best place to make mistakes is classrooms. Because once you go out and start working in a company or do something else, when you make mistakes at that time, it will be very expensive. But now you can make all kinds of mistakes, right? So feel free to open up and interact. What is life in your own point of view, sir? Karuna says, what is life in your own point of view? Life is an opportunity for self-evolution. That is life. Is it clear? Life is an opportunity for self-evolution. In life, when we look back, we should be able to see that I have evolved through the different opportunities that life had given me. I had evolved to become a better person. That is what life is all about. I have evolved to become a person who is of service to others, who is of meaning to others, not just for myself and as well as for others. If I had done that, that is what life is all about. I should understand very clearly. Right? Life is an opportunity for self-evolution. That is what life is. For self-evolution, for myself and for others also. It is not just me. I have responsibility towards others. It's an opportunity for me to do that and to develop that right understanding more and more. That is what life is. How to build up self-confidence? It's a good question. Actually, I would like to answer this question, Divya, in a slightly different angle. How to build self-confidence. See, when we identify what we are good at, and when we do things that we are good at, we will feel very confident. Right? For example, let's say you are good at music, let's say you're good at singing. You will feel very confident about singing. Nobody has to come and tell you, be confident, be confident. Nobody has to tell you that. But then you are good at singing, somebody is asking you to solve a very difficult math problem. You may not be good at that, then you feel lack of confidence. So parents, teachers, and other mentors in the society should help us identify, should facilitate us to identify what we are good at and help us grow in that direction. Then everybody will be confident because they know what their role is, they know what they are good at, and they will do that role very confidently. They're very clear. This is my role and I have to do this. See, in a community, we need different types of people. Even laborers in the society are very much required for the society. If there are no laborers, what will happen? Companies are running because of laborers, farmers, everybody is required. But, when we say that no, farming is not so good, if you are a farmer, you will not get respect in the society, and then the farmer loses confidence. He's actually good in farming. He should be encouraged to do farming, and the society should support him to do farming. And society should respect his role. Then he will automatically feel confident. So we should understand what I'm good at. Our community should help us identify what I'm good at. And when we do what we are good at naturally, we will feel confident. Confidence is a consequence. You don't have to really build it separately. There is nothing like you're building confidence. It is only about working on areas which are naturally good for you. Then confidence is automatically there. Right? It's so important. It's a very good. So even for all of you, what I would say is when you're choosing a certain field of engineering, don't choose the field of engineering simply based on which will give me good job, which will pay me high salary. That should not be the consideration when we choose a field of engineering. It should be based on what is truly inspiring me from inside. I'm good at certain things. I should be able to identify with the help of my teachers and parents. And also, I should also look into others, discuss with many others, take inputs, and then decide for myself, okay, I'm good in this area. I will be able to study well and gain knowledge in this area better. So like that, you have to come to a decision based on what you are naturally good at. Should not simply, sometimes, there are people who are not even good at engineering, but they just take up engineering because of societal pressure, which is not good. Just because parents and society is pushing you into engineering, if somebody takes up engineering, they will not at all have confidence. Rather, if they are encouraged to do what they do well, I have many examples in our own institutions where students were simply forced into engineering. They were not at all good at it. They didn't have confidence. But later on, when the parents identified and helped them to put in place where they were good, those students came out very well. One student was very good in photography, and now he's doing very well in photography. He's very confident. His life is booming like anything because he is doing things which are naturally coming for him. So when you choose a field, please choose a field with that clarity. You should take help. You need help. You need help of right teachers. You need help of your parents. You have to discuss with people around you. So take their support, take their help, identify, and then choose it with clarity, not simply just because you will get good job and good salary. That should not be the only consideration. That's all I'm saying. Sir, how to overcome our difficulties and how to improve our self mentally strong. How to overcome our difficulties. Look at difficulties as opportunity for you to become strong. I would put it that way. When difficulties come, see, how does one learn to fight? A boxer, how does a boxer learn boxing? He has to do boxing, right? He has to get into the ring and do boxing. And then only he will learn boxing. How does a person learn karate? He has to fight with somebody to learn karate, right? If he simply reads in book, this is the upper punch, this is the middle punch, lower punch, side kick, thrust kick, you think after reading all the books, and this is how you get black belt, this is how you get brown belt. If you read everything in the book, you think you will be able to learn karate by reading books? You should actually do karate. So same way, how will you become strong? You will become strong by working with difficulties. When you work with difficulties, actually you become mentally strong. If you just accept difficulties and don't work on it at all and don't look at it as an opportunity to grow, then you will remain weak. When difficulties come, you should ask this question: why am I in this difficulty? Where should I improve? Instead of sitting and crying in a corner, you should ask why this difficulty has come. What is my role in it? How can I improve? First thing, when difficulties come, do not blame others. Others may have done something, that is okay. But what am I supposed to do is the first question. Okay, something has happened around me, some difficulty has come. What am I supposed to do now is the first question. Always remember this. Any difficulty comes, what am I supposed to do now? Ask this question for yourself. Right? And then do that. When you get clarity, okay, this is what I should be doing. When you get that clarity, then do that properly. And learn from those difficulties. Learn from those difficulties. Very important. Unless we learn from the difficulties, we cannot become mentally strong. We will remain mentally weak. If you simply cry and sit in a corner, we will remain mentally weak. So we have to exercise our thought process for the right things. Negative thinking is useful in human life. Renuka, I cannot understand your question. Is it a question? Okay. Is it good to know about what society is thinking about us? Not necessary. I mean, you should know what are your duties and responsibilities, that's all. Because society will think so many things about us. But we should do always the right things. It is not that I don't care whatever others think about me. I'm not saying like that. I should know what are my responsibilities, what are my duties, and I should do them properly. After that, if somebody thinks something, how can I control it? If I start worrying about what society is thinking about me, I will become crazy because so many people will have their own opinion about me. Then I'll keep breaking my head. Why he is thinking badly about me? Why he is thinking badly about me? Let them think whatever they have to think. But am I doing the right things is the question. So if somebody comes and criticizes us, we can ask them this question: can you please tell me what mistake I am making? Sincerely, we can ask. And if they say that you are making this mistake, you thank them, thank you very much, and correct yourself. What is there? But if somebody simply says that, you are bad and he has no reason to call you bad, then don't worry. Okay. He is not able to help me improve, then why should I worry? But if the person is coming and telling something genuinely where you have to improve, accept it very happily and then correct yourself. But if we start breaking our head thinking about what everybody is thinking about me around me, no, it's not necessary. Absolutely not necessary. Right? Good. Nice questions. Okay. Anything else? All right. I have more or less come to the end of the presentation. So some of your faculty members, is there a faculty member who's coordinating the session?
Yes, sir, myself.
Yes, sir. Venkatesh, Dr. Venkatesh. Yeah. So if students have questions, I can address them. Otherwise, we can conclude the sessions. Up to you.
Any doubts and questions would you like to ask the resource person?
Ganga, some of the people are poor at decision making. What suggestion will you give them? Sir, did you get any failures in life regarding? Okay, there are a couple of questions. Some of the people are poor at decision making. What suggestion will you give them? Ganga is asking. See, Ganga, all of us, whether it is me or you or anybody, decision making is not always an individual process. Of course, you finally take the decision, but you always have to take help from others. So in your life, you should have at least few people with whom you can consult. They should be trustworthy. They should be respect-worthy. You should have such relationships in your life whom you can look up to. Right? You should have mentors. You should have your parents or somebody around you whom you respect. You should always discuss with them very clearly. And with that kind of a discussion only, then you have to think, of course, decision making is finally on you. But that proper decision making happens when we discuss with superiors very clearly. That is the process of decision. The process of decision making always involves taking help from superiors whom we feel can help us. We have to identify that. It's important. It's not just individual decision making. We have to take help. And I have taken help. Even now I take help. I don't take decisions just like that. I will discuss with people. After that, I will make a decision. Right? I discuss with my father. I discuss with some of my mentors. I discuss with my teachers. Till date, I do that. So there's a question, sir. Did you get any failures in your life regarding to get success? Not necessary. We all think that success means, cracking an exam or getting a job. I never saw a success along that direction. I had failed in some of the jobs that I had applied for and so on. I was not a top scorer in every exam that I wrote. I was topper in some of the exams. But that is not what success is all about. Success is all about, are you sincere and committed in any effort that you make? That is success. If you are sincere and committed, then okay. If you don't get it, you don't get it. But if you had not been sincere and committed and you say that, okay, I didn't get it, that is not correct. You should put your full effort. After that, whatever comes, comes. So it's not always necessary that you should have a failure to get success. And first of all, you should understand what success is. You should have clarity on what success is. So success should be seen in terms of evolution. Many people pay interest towards successful stories. What is the reason behind this? See, the reason is, one is people get motivated when someone says that I became successful and so on. But I don't think that you should pay too much attention to the success of other people. That's okay. If they're successful, it is good. But you should focus on the core principles. That is important. You should focus on the core principles. You should focus on internal growth. It is not about Somebody became successful, I will also become successful like that. Not necessarily. They are successful in their area, you become successful in whatever you are good at. Don't have to try to imitate anybody. When you see stories of people, don't try to imitate them. It's not necessary. They are becoming successful because of many reasons. We don't know. What is shown to us is only very small thing. Somebody talks about Usain Bolt. He's a sprinter and he won Olympic gold medals and so on. But so many things, so many people have contributed for his success. We only simply see one small part of it, right? So let us not worry about all those things. Let us worry about our internal, right? But failure is the stepping stone to success. Oh, you're talking about failure stories? No, it is. See, any story, if it helps us understand the approach of the person, the consciousness of the person, how he approached it, then that is good. It should give us a holistic picture. It should not just give us a rosy picture of everything. Right? We should get a holistic picture. The person might have gone through so many things in life. So you should get a holistic picture. If only the good things are shown, that is far from reality. And we think that, only for me good things are not happening. Everybody, many bad things are happening, but still, again, as I said, please try to understand the success and failure in terms of character development. Don't try to just look at success and failure in terms of just accumulating some attention in the society or accumulating some wealth. If you start looking at success and failure in terms of gaining wealth and facilities, then it becomes troublesome. So please understand, see success or failure in terms of whether you are able to develop your character or not. Other things are a consequence. Please understand. Okay? Yeah, good. Okay. So should we stop here? Dr. Satish?
Yes, Dr. Karthik
Yeah.
Subramanian, sir.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to conclude the session.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really a great opportunity to interact with you on this auspicious occasion, and you have also contributed a valuable time to take
Thank
part
you.
in our orientation program and giving some highlighting the important points on universal human values.
Yeah.
And in this aspect, you have chosen a very good and very beautiful topic, that what is the purpose of education, which is need of the hour to every student, every person.
Yeah.
In this, you have highlighted the points, that is importance of education, understanding myself, and moreover, the very very important question, that is, who am I? And the question is very easy, and answer is very difficult to answer this question, who am I, because it is different to everyone. And in this, you have focused on the different topics, that we should transform ourselves internally, and we have to evolve, come out of our character, understanding the responsibilities, and we should deal with the people in the society, and how to deal the situations. And I hope that our students have come to an understanding about these points which you have focused. And also, I am very thankful from RGUKT SKLM for involving and encouraging our students in the live interaction session with you, and clarifying all the doubts with a very very lot of patience. So some
Yeah.
very free to interact with you, and some maybe, as you said, that hesitate to speak with you, but they are very free to have a chat and post their questions, and
Yes.
getting clarity from
Yes.
your respectful ideas.
Yeah, I was very happy that people interacted.
So thank you, sir. And on this occasion, one of our students want to give her feedback
Yeah,
about
yeah, I would be happy to hear
what
feedback.
she understood on this issue.
Yeah, yeah, that's good.
Yes, I am unmuting myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much for your great addressing and your great interaction with us, sir. Really, it's such a great opportunity to us to hear such great words from you, which inspire us in deciding what's the role of us in this society and this life. And you have enriched us with so many good qualities and how to lead a life with good moral values and how to mold ourselves to a good human being, the social human being. And we really feel so grateful for having a great session with you, sir. It's thank you so much for your patience, for answering our questions, and for interacting with us. Thank you so much, sir.
Divya, tell me one thing that you learned.
So the one thing I learned is uh, you said that who am I? You aroused the question, who am I? Yes, sir. That's the first important question a human being should have. A human being should possess that. Who am I actually? Why to lead this life in this society? Why should I? Why my mom has given birth to me, and what's the purpose of my life? And I learned the value that what's the purpose of my life in this earth, and why I have given birth by my mother, and what are the important core values and what are the important moral values in this life, how to lead a life, how to get a good right understanding between the
Tell
self
me,
and body requirements.
Divya, tell me one thing that you will do.
So, the one thing
After,
I'll do
after,
is
yes, after going through this session, what is the one thing that you will do based on these sessions?
mm,
This is question for all
so
of
the
you, by
one,
the way. Just because Divya is
yes, sir.
speaking to me, I'm asking her. Okay.
So actually, we students have a confusion about the thing differentiating between a body and soul needs, a body and soul needs, sir. So through this session, we came to a conclusion that we can easily differentiate. You said the purpose, sir. So when we earn more money, what should we do? What's the purpose of earning more money? You have said, na, sir. With that thing, we got a clear conclusion that earning money is not important to satisfy our self needs. It's just a thing to satisfy only our body requirements. So one
Very
thing I
good.
do is that I can clearly differentiate between the body and the self needs. That's it, sir. That's the main thing the society is lacking in this present days, sir. That's the thing, that's
This,
differentiating thing, is that's the lacking, that society is lacking, sir, in
if
these
this,
days.
if this one clarity, if all of you carry, if this one clarity, if all of you carry, you can make such a difference in your own life and in the lives of others. I'm so
Yes,
happy that you
yes,
mentioned it.
indeed, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you, thank you. Don't worry, I will not ask you questions. I just asked her because don't get scared. I wanted it to be an interactive session, that's all. Feel free. You are free to say something, you are welcome. Otherwise, it's okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Karthik Subramanian, sir,
Thank you.
for
Thank you so much.
all the tender doubts of our students.
Yes. I was very happy to address them.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It's really a very marvelous interactive session
Thank
uh,
you.
with the esteemed professor of the NIT Warangal, and hope that our students have clarified their doubts and had a good interaction with you. And we also hope from the RGUKT, from our institute, Rajiv Gandhi Institute, University of Knowledge and Technology. So in near future and in the coming days, we'll hope that we'll come across with you and have some interactive sessions on the general issues, because
Yeah.
here, technical students and the social
Yeah.
life entirely
I,
different.
yeah, I will be more than happy to interact with you. More on technical side also, I can have quite a bit of interaction with students from your institution. I'll be more than happy to extend myself.
Yes, sir. So that with your keen and apt guidance, so we can relate the technicality and the social issues. So thank you, sir, once again from this from our point of view and from our institution. So I am very happy to conclude the session today.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to interact with your students. Thank you so much. See
Okay,
you.
thank you,
So
sir.
I can leave the meeting now?
Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm just leaving now.